Job is to make sure as much money goes back to the farmer as possible. Okay. So we don't generally like middlemen. We're trying to do the job for our farmers to make sure that we're taking their crop, we're sorting it out for them, and we're getting it straight into the end user and making sure that as much of the value goes back to the farmer as possible.
Welcome to Camgrain, one of the most phenomenal agricultural success stories of the last 20-30 years. We're going to do a deep dive with the CEO and the operations director to find out more about the business, how it was formed, where it is today, and where it's going to be in the future, and why farmer members should be aligned to them, and also why you as a potential individual should join them for a great and glittering career with this phenomenal business. Camgrain.
Camgrain is a farmers cooperative established in 1983. We've got roughly 550 members who are essentially owners of the business. So they are, this is their farm store. We collect their grain, we store their grain, and we market their grain on their behalf.
Yeah, and where I find it fascinating about Camgrain, I've had a long history with yourself, Philip, and yourself. So this site here, it has to be one of the best in the area.
You're just goading me there, aren't you? It's a fantastic site, benefited from a huge amount of grant aid that supported the initial construction of the project, and we have, I would say, the best infrastructure on this site in Europe for what it does.
What size is this site at Great Wilbraham in the terms of capacity, volume, storage, trucks? Give us the nuts and bolts.
250,000 tonnes of storage plus intake capacity for 8 tailboard tips that there isn't available anywhere else in the UK and probably Europe.
Yep.
Huge appetite for swallowing grain, large drying capacity, and it is built to grow.
Okay. And this is but one site. Simon, the other 3 sites?
Linton, just down the road, 7-8 miles away. One across in Northamptonshire, just outside Kettering, and the other one across in Stratford.
Okay, and
so
it's
right across the central belt.
And is that it for Camgrain? Are you going to stop there? Are you going to start expanding more? Are you doing any collaborations?
We've just announced a collaboration at Kettering where we're building Europe's largest, most efficient oat processing plant.
Yeah.
So we have ambitious plans for the future.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to see how this model keeps on extrapolating itself to the next stage. But on that basis, is that why farmers should be aligned to yourself on an ongoing basis? Because presumably you can give them huge cost savings when they need those cost savings in the long term.
I think the supply chain is becoming more fussy in terms of quality of wheat, moisture of the wheat, the standards that it's grown to, and we at Camgrain can help farmers make sure that their grain, when it's harvested, comes in here, we clean it, we dry it, we condition it, we make sure it goes out to the appropriate standard. If they were supplied directly from the farm, it might be sent back by the consumer, whereas they know if it's coming into Camgrain first, everything that they supply to Camgrain goes on into the supply chain.
The crucial thing with Camgrain going forward is its ability to connect the farmer to the consumer.
Okay.
And actually bring the consumer, or a level of that consumer before it goes to the next process, actually onto the site.
Yeah.
2 of our sites are already engaged with consumers and processors on the site, and as Simon has said, the largest oat processing plant in Europe coming alongside Camgrain. It makes Camgrain an end market, and that reduces road miles and really is the future, and that's why our sites are big enough to take others alongside to actually work together, reduce food miles and make energy efficiency.
And with this growth that Camgrain have got, you're always going to be looking for high caliber people. Why should people come to look to get a job, to get a great career with Camgrain, please, Philip?
Well, we've got the best infrastructure here, and we want the best people to work with that infrastructure. And crucially, with Camgrain, it's built to grow and modernise and automate. So we don't want more and more people, but we want the best people to work with it to make the most of these fantastic facilities.
What sort of people do you think would be most suited to work within Camgrain, within the Camgrain culture?
Those that like the outdoors, great outdoors for sure, but also want to be part of a very dynamic, energetic and enthusiastic team.
And so presumably it's quite a close-knit team, isn't it? Especially during harvest, because you've got to work as the team.
Yeah, it has to be a close-knit team. Otherwise, you just don't get through the volume in the period.
Would you say that coming into this sector, to this business, would be very beneficial for individuals looking to come into agriculture, to look to come and join Camgrain?
It helps if you know a little bit about farming, which I didn't, but the most important thing is coming wanting to learn. So we take people from all walks of life with all types of different experience and qualifications. There has to be a desire and a passion to want to work for Camgrain. We're quite a small business really in terms of the number of people, makes it pretty friendly. We know everybody, everybody knows each other, and it's really important that we get people who want to be part of the team rather than simply joining a large faceless organisation. We're not, we're a farmers cooperative, we're a close-knit team, and we want people who want to be part of that close-knit team.
Well done. So the business was formed in the early 80s. Where can you see Camgrain 5 years, 10 years time? Philip?
Further engaged down that supply chain. I think the project that we first engaged with on our Stratford site brought Camgrain closer to the consumer. The site at North Hants will take that up another gear, and working with our partners, Frontier that we market with, fantastic partner to work with, and Anglia Holdings that are also working with us on the North Hants side, just brings the whole industry closer together and more collaboration and scale, which is what we all need. And Camgrain sites have the ability for fantastic scale, and scale in our world means economies of scale usually.
Simon, 5-10 years out, where do you want Camgrain to be?
I'd like us to be recognised across the whole industry for the fantastic job we do today. So part of the challenge is to make sure we get out into the marketplace and tell people about our great facilities, our great expertise, and making sure that everybody recognises Camgrain for the job it does. I would say, and I'm biased, but I think we are by far the leading grain storage company in the UK.
James, well, thank you very much. Camgrain, one to watch.